Hey guys, I just wanted to show you a quick tutorial on the Dragan Effect, and so this is a picture of my brother. He does mixed martial arts fighting, and we did a portrait shoot for him. And for the Dragan Effect, I didn't do anything in library. This is just straight out of the camera. I think what I am going to do though is I do want it to be a little bit warmer. So I'm going to warm it up just a little bit here. Oh, well, maybe I'll cool it down even. So that looks about right. For the Dragan Effect, the idea is that it's a super contrasty picture, playing a lot with the lights and the dark. So here I just turned the contrast up a little bit. And then I think I'm going to take the highlights all the way up. Oh, maybe that's too bright, so I'll bring it down a little bit here. Probably around there. We'll see what the shadows do. Take the shadows all the way down. I take my whites all the way down. And I take the blacks all the way down. We might have to bring some of these back as we go through. You can kind of see there's kind of washing out the detail. You're losing some of the detail in the eyes, but we'll come back to that. We will turn the clarity all the way up though, so you can kind of see it made the beard pop out. Did make the pores pop out. This is not a glamour type editing process. It does not show the beautiful side of things usually. I am going to go up a little bit in vibrance, but I am going to go down a little bit in saturation, and we'll come back to that. I think I might go back up a little bit here. So right now you can kind of see that it's starting to take on that effect. Still a little bit orange for my taste, but we'll come back to that again. One thing that really defines the Dragan Effect is the over sharpening. And so I just come down and I just really jack up the sharpening right away. You can kind of see just by going back and forth the little bit of effect it has. I'm going to crank up the detail on this a little bit too. Probably leave the masking. And what I like to do is I like to take out the camera noise, but then I like to add in a little bit of grain noise, because grain noise tends to just seem a little more uniform. It gives a little bit of depth. And I'm also going to put kind of a vignette in here. Even though you can't really see a whole lot, it does kind of change the way his gi looks. But one thing that you'll know or notice about the Dragan Effect is he always has some sort of otherworldly coloring to it. And you can do this a couple ways. For me, just in Lightroom, doing it here, I'm going to do it with split toning. And so for some of you, it might be a drop-down menu that you need. But I like having the highlights kind of in the eerier realm, so kind of in a green. So a lot of what you see on this side of his face is going to be more green when I start bringing the color in. So I'll just take it up really high so you can see what that does. I'm not going to leave it this high by any means. I'm going to just tint it slightly so you can barely tell it's even there. And then I'm going to come down here to the shadows, which will be more on this side of the face. And I'll probably put that in like a red somewhere in there, magenta. And we'll turn that up and see what we get. You can kind of see you get a little bit more depth that way. It seems to kind of bring the whole picture together. There are two other things that I'm going to do. One is, since this eye is losing a lot of detail, and this one I think we could pull more detail out of, I'm going to work on them. And I'm also going to work on his beard a little bit. So let's do that. So I'm zooming in. And I'm going to just use an exposure brush tool. And I'll probably turn these up quite a bit. I'll go a full stop here. just to see if we can get a little bit of the eyes to come out. And I'm actually going to turn that up a little bit more. That might be too much, but that's okay. And I'll turn the sharpening up just to give them some sort of effect. Now this one you're still not really seeing a lot of detail, so I'm just going to make a new brush and I'm going to come back and see if I can get anything to come out of this. That might have been a little bit too much, so I'm going to start over with that. Just go about there. And I'll zoom out to see if that's too much or not. You know, I don't find that too bad. Now, the other thing I wanted to do was look at his beard. And here I'm just going to do clarity. And I'm going to kind of turn it up pretty high. And I'll probably turn up the sharpening a little bit more. And we're just going to see what that does. If it gets it too dark, we aren't going to worry about it. But we'll just see what it does. Get some of his hair in there. Nah, I don't really like that, so I'm going to erase it. Now, you do have a tone curve here. You might just see what that does a little bit. Really just trying to make that highlights and the highest highlights and the lowest darks to just kind of really pop. And I might pull these highlights down a little bit. So I think that looks pretty good. So this is where I would leave it. Hopefully it's simple enough for you to follow at home. And let me know if I can help with anything. Talk to you later.